Today, I'm excited to share a session from this month's workshop. It's called The Princess Project. Inside of the inner circle group that I've got going on, we meet each month and we dive into a new theme, and this one is our latest. During this video, I'll guide you through setting an intention and staying focused to that intention so that you can get stuff done while we're together. I'll set a timer for 30 minutes and let you know when 30 minutes is up to help you to stay on track and to avoid distractions. Now, this video runs about 45 minutes, so once you hit play, you can dive into your tasks, listen to my inspiration and motivation and instruction, and get stuff done alongside me. Oh, wait, I've got a free workbook for you, and you'll find it in the description box or somewhere here on this page. I think you're going to find it super fun. You'll see that it will help you to stay committed to the month's decluttering project once you download it. Inside the workbook, you're going to find tracking sheets. I use these all the time. It's how I keep my word to myself when I want to keep a commitment I've made to myself. If you want information about the Inner Circle group, then let me know. I won't be doing these meetings for long, so if you're thinking about it, don't wait. I can't wait to hear how you do.
We're going to do Pomodoro sessions while we're together. So this is a method that helps many people who get distracted easily to increase their productivity. It was invented by an Italian student, Francesco Cirillan, to conquer procrastination. Our altered Pomodoro process is this. Set an intention. So I want you to do that, okay? Set an intention. Decide what you'll be dedicated to while we're together. And I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes. And then I want you to work intensely, laser focused, and committed to whatever it was that you intended while we were together. All right, so set your intention. Get it in the chat. If you're watching on recording, email me or get it on Facebook and let me know this is what the intention is, okay? All right, ready, set your intention, go. And I'm going to talk about our theme for this week. This week is week 2, day 3, The Princess Project, Joy Sucker Treasure Hunt, part 3. I want you to have an idea of what you see as your identity or what you aspire to. Everybody has something different. This may float your boat and maybe somebody else it isn't. To some people, this actually might look very cluttered, and to other people, it might look just perfect and wonderful. So I've just chosen a few images that I thought were cool to just think of how wonderful it would be to just be and have what it is that we want to be and have. So here's another one that I thought was very sweet. You know, can you see yourself carrying yourself in a different way? I want you to find your identity vision. So this is something that might seem silly, foolish, and almost like frivolous, or what's the word? Not frivolous, like meaningless. Like why? Why? This is just something somebody's making me do. You know how sometimes you read a book and you're like, oh my God, they're just saying this because they had to fill some space or something. This is not that. I promise. I don't do that anyway, but I promise this is not that. I can't tell you how much of my life and certain aspects of my life, the dog is having a dream, you hear that? Certain aspects of my life, that certain specific changes that have made in my life simply because I sat and I visualized it. Because the reality is, hey, wake up, come on. The reality is that we all believe what we believe because we've been programmed to believe it. So if we believe that we'll always be a mess, this is the way we are, nothing will ever help me, I'll always be like this, I'm lazy, like what you say to yourself, like, oh, you know what, you're just lazy. Like we talk to ourselves as if we're talking to somebody else, even though we're talking to ourselves. And the truth is that if that was a friend of ours, we would dump them in a second. But we allow ourselves to talk ourselves that way. And I'm asking you, make it stop. Part of Tidy Tutor University, the Tidy Tutor Masterclass, is we pick 3 thoughts of negative things that we think about ourselves on the regular, and we contradict them, and we change them, and we say them over and over again. This is another version of that. In this way, though, we're giving ourselves time to play, time to step back and just close our eyes and imagine who it is we want to be. And in this case, we're doing it like a fairy tale princess. That's what we're doing, because we can. There's no rules here, and your mind doesn't know any difference. So having a vision for what it is that you want is very important. And this is like a takeaway of that. So This is just another image that I found. You can find any one that you want to. You know, I need to be careful to share things that if I was going to share a piece of this on, say, YouTube or something, it really has to be something that's legal to be shared. If I'm having a live meeting with you, I could share an image that I see online. That's different than having something like public on a YouTube screen. And just in case anybody here ever has any concerns about them being seen, if I ever do share anything live that's here from this, it's only for promotion's sake to help people see what we do in the inside. I always take away anything that's personal. And if you have your face shown, I remove it. I do an editing little magic trick. And so you don't ever have to worry about that. You are always in a safe place here with me. So you don't have to use one of these. It's just three of them that I liked, or I think I've got 5 now that I liked. You can go online. You can go on Google or anything, any kind of search engine, and just Google fairy tale princess or something, and then click on images that is on the top, and then let them all come on. You can create a vision board for yourself. You can just have that one image as your screensaver, or you could just have that on your computer and pick it up and click on it and look at it to see as you're decluttering. Like, that's you. You can have a Pinterest board that you could say, my princess life, and have all things that inspire you in there. So these are just ideas. You don't have to do these things, of course. Just thinking about it is enough. I just thought I'd mention it. All right, so this is a review. First thing we did was the Joy Sucker game. And what we did was I discussed what a joy sucker is. It's anything that makes you feel bad that you have at home. These are things that belong to you, or things that are in your home. Things that are around you. Anything at home that makes you feel bad, because it could be some things that you don't own. Like maybe it's something that somebody left there. So that's why I'm trying to distinguish. Anything that gives you grief because it doesn't work, like maybe a vacuum cleaner that doesn't work, a lamp that doesn't work, or something that actually kind of does work, like maybe a blender, but the only way it works is if you jiggle the handle or something, right? That would give you grief. Anything that makes you feel uncomfortable at home. Maybe you have something that was given to you by an ex, or somebody that has passed away that you actually didn't have a very good relationship with, or anything, really, anything that just makes you feel uncomfortable. Some things can be something that you have purchased that you couldn't afford. And that could be something that makes you feel uncomfortable because you bought it in a moment of shopping therapy. And then when you got home, you realized that you really couldn't afford it. You shouldn't have bought it. And so just using it or taking the tags off of it gives you unpleasant feelings. And so that's a joy sucker. So here are some examples. Something from someone who passed away. I guess I just said all of these. A gift you received that you don't like. Something you have to mess with for it to work. Something from a painful previous relationship. Children's belongings that you know need to go. Something you brought that you couldn't afford. So last week on day 1 of week 1, we did dejunking like a princess. And we talked about things that a princess just would not keep. And day 2 of week 1, we talked about, let's do a joy sucker treasure hunt. And this is what that was all about. You were to pick an area at home, choose an area that you think you should feel like a princess in that space. Everybody has their own little space that kind of touches their heart. Maybe it's your bedroom, maybe it's your bathroom, maybe it's your front porch, maybe it's your closet, something that you feel like, I really should feel like a princess in here. I want you to pick that space. And then scan the area for something in your line of vision. So like we weren't digging through anything this day, or an object you use or wear that sucks the joy right out of you. And then once you identified your joy sucker or joy suckers, either dispose of it, donate it, transform it so that it's no longer a joy sucker. Because if something doesn't work and now you can make it work, it's fine now, right? Or possibly. And then I asked you to plan for it. If you could do it right now when we were together, oh my goodness, do it. If you can, that's great. If not, then get it in your calendar so that you actually will do it. If this is your second week and you haven't done it, then what I say to do is get up a star or a heart chart and put on there that you have a goal to go through the areas of your house to get joy suckers so that you will actually do it. You probably would do the heart chart most likely. And this way you'll It'll be something you don't forget. You could also, if you wanted to, if you didn't want to do that, see that the heart and the star chart is something that you choose to do all month because they're both like 30 days, which I would say is a great idea to do this for a full month, joy suckers. This is the kind of thing that we get notified with in our heart and in our spirit in levels. At first, we'll see things right away and we'll be like, oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, that's broken. Oh, I got to get rid of that. Then you feel like, oh gosh, I got everything. I can't believe it. And the next day you see things you didn't see before. And that's just because we can't handle all that download all at one time. So it's beautiful that things happen gradually. So if you want to do this in like a 30-day commitment to get rid of joy suckers in your house, then you can have a star and heart chart out for that. If you choose that you would prefer not to, then sticky notes would be great for this because then it's in your face. So you can have some sticky notes and have like, really, you could just have one sticky note that is up there, maybe on your refrigerator or on your mirror. Don't forget the joy suckers. See what I mean? So if you haven't done them, do something that reminds you. You could also get into your calendar so that when you check your calendar, you see, oh, we got to do the joy suckers. You can make a decision on when and actually plan a date and a time to go through the joy suckers. And that's that. Okay, so now here's our part 2. Last week and this week continued. So you looked at a space that talked to your heart and said, I should be like a princess in this spot. And then that's the space that you would really dig in and get the life suckers from. I mean, joy suckers from, but joy suckers really are kind of like life suckers, aren't they? In this case, I want you to think about the room or rooms, okay? Because what we're doing here is we aren't working through a zone. We're not necessarily cleaning. We're not necessarily de-junking. And when I say necessarily is because there could be something that sucks the joy right out of you that is just dirty. And you're like, man, I've got to clean the top of that dresser. And I've got to de-junk that end table. So that is why I say not necessarily, because it could be that you need to de-junk that one specific area to get that joy sucked, that sucking God, gone. So these were the suggestions that I had, like to think about areas of your life that you feel like really could change. When you are working at something at home and we're doing it purposefully to add joy to our life and to delete joy suckers from our life, it's a good idea to think about a space in our life that we want things changed. And then if we work in that area that we want things changed, it has a ripple effect. So here are some examples. If you need help with relationships, kitchen, porch, entranceway might be it. And it's different for everybody. Because say it's a romantic relationship, it might be your bedroom. Say it's your family relationship. So for you, it might be your kitchen. Say you feel like it's my entranceway. I want to have good relationships and people can't even walk in the door and feel welcome. So everybody has their own thing. And so this is going to be personal to you. If you want to work on self-care or your health, some examples can be your office, your kitchen, your car, your bedroom, your spare room. These are things that can trigger you feeling like you're not taking care of yourself. So one way, like the spare room, garage, or basement, would be that maybe you really want to work out and you've been wanting to make a space in that spare room of yours to work out. Maybe you even ordered a treadmill and some sort of weights, but they're just sitting there. And you're like, I need to get them in that room. That's why it's one really good example of something where that health is involved. Let's see. Kitchen, of course, is food. Car has a big one. Keeping your car crappy gives you like an unworthy feeling, not good enough kind of feeling. It's something that you drive around embarrassed in. And you don't necessarily feel embarrassed in it as you're driving around unless there's somebody that you see needs a ride and you pretend you don't see them because you're too embarrassed to have them in the car. See what I mean? So healthcare examples. Self-care examples are a little bit different than healthcare because self-care might be you shower regularly, you maybe get your nails done, maybe you, let's see, some of self-care thing. You go to bed on time, you wake up on time, And this could be your bedroom, your kitchen, because of course self-care has a lot to do with food, right? Bathroom, that's where you take care of yourself. So this is what we went over last week. And this week, I want you to think about a specific room and a specific example in your life that you want changed. And we're going to focus on that. Okay? Focusing on areas that are attached to a particular category of life will show a change in you, which in turn will create a change in that area of your life. What I'm hoping for is adding a level of I want to instead of I have to. When we think about decluttering and doing all the work that has to be done, starting with waking up, let's see all we do as energetic focus with the potential to make the changes that we want in our lives and not as a chore. So if we have an idea or a mindset that what we're doing here is we're doing this to improve other areas of our life, and we believe that by doing this, there is a ripple effect to it, a domino effect to it, then maybe waking up in the morning might be fun. That you feel like you made yourself a project. You're not just cleaning up the house, you're fixing areas of your life. Because when we sow seeds, we receive a harvest. We know that. There is the law of seed time and harvest. And doing this is sowing seeds. When you are dedicating time to a certain area for a certain thing, you're sowing seeds. When you sow seeds, due season always comes. That's a verse in the Word. So my last paragraph here is I wrote, can we get excited about getting up in the morning to get started the way we did when going on a school trip or on Christmas morning? Because we have this to look forward to. I want you to tackle a new way of looking at making changes and doing the work. Let's declutter and clean up as a strategy to make the changes in all areas of life that we want to change. So I hope you can see how this totally ties in with the Princess Project, because it's an elevation. It's an elevation of who we are, how we live, and what we accept. Making upgrades and the changes at home will directly affect the results we get when wanting life to go well, when wanting a goal to happen for us, and adding to the happiness factor. It really does. It adds to the happiness factor in our life, and it happens without us even realizing it. It opens up doors that were closed before. You'll notice that things happen now that haven't happened in years or have never happened, and you will be stunned. But it's not a miracle. It's just the law of, it's like the law of gravity. It will also help us with motivation while decluttering, because now we have a different idea of why we're doing it, and keeping to our routines and keeping us successfully moving ahead in the direction we've wanted to go in, because it's not just about getting the house cleaned up. By doing this, we've attached something other to it. See what I mean? All right, so last week we chose a part of life and the area associated with it. And now I want you to think in terms of three things that you can upgrade. Three things you can change within a week to upgrade, elevate an area of your life. And these are like the areas that we talked about last time, okay? Now, you can do 3 a day. You can just do 3 this week. You could do 3 at a time. See, this is all according to where you are in your place, in your state right now, okay? Now, here's some ideas. What subtle things can you do in the room that you've chosen? So let's say you've chosen the kitchen. What are some of the subtle things that you can do in that room to make some changes? So could you fix something? If you stood in that room for a second and thought like, all right, let's stick with the whole princess thing. So let's pretend you're standing in the middle of the kitchen and the queen is coming to visit. All right. So there you are in the middle of the kitchen. And what would you see now? If it wasn't for this, I would say pretend you're a realtor. Because normally we don't see things in the house unless we know somebody's going to be taking an inspection of it. And then all of a sudden we think things we didn't see before, like a broken switch plate cover or, a picture that's not hanging straight. Give me a second. I need some water. So let's say it's the porch and entranceway. Walk out there. Do you have dead plants out there? Do you still have something hanging from the last holiday that's been over for quite a while? What about your bedroom? How about that bedding? Is it threadbare? Is it ugly? Is it old? Does it not reflect who you are? Is it just total crap? Does it just need to be washed? What about the sheets? Are the sheets threadbare? Are they crap? Do you know that most people have beautiful, clean, brand new sheets still in their little zippered plastic containers that they come in from the store, still in like a linen closet or something, and we just keep using the same old sheets over and over again, thinking, I'll save them. Save them for what? Don't save them. Think like a princess. They're not going to have a shortage on sheets. And another thing, too, is you know how long sheets last? They last so long. We have to change our mind about things. If you have candles, light them. That's another idea. A subtle thing that you can do in a room. Sometimes it isn't about getting rid of something. Sometimes it's about using something. Do you have candles in that room that are now just dusty, sitting on the shelf because you're going to use them for a special occasion? Use them. What about in your kitchen, something else that might be something that will elevate the area and your heart and your life is use the china. Use it. What is it doing in there? Maybe if you want to, just have a cup of tea now and then in the beautiful china cup you have, if you have that. Use it. You have fancy stemware that you never use. Use it. So declutter, like in your bedroom, you could say, okay, I'm going to, if you know that you have an excess of sheets, way more than you need, and most of them are crap, or you have beautiful sheets that are still in their containers and you should be using them, then maybe that might be something you commit to. But you have to make a decision, okay? You have to make a decision. You have to go into that room and size it up. And I just want, like I said, I just want you to think in terms of 3. You don't want to get too overwhelmed with this. If it's not your zone that you're in, then you're not going to want to dejunk that room and get it all the way done. We just want to go in there, whatever room it is that speaks to your heart, that you feel like I should feel like a princess in here, or in this case of this week, that you know you need to elevate a certain area of your life, like relationships or your health or whatever. We did this last week too. Excuse me. Then you go in there and just pick 3 things. You could do, like I said, 3 things a day, 3 things this week, 3 things a month. It's really up to you. I would say at the very least 3 things a week. Personally, I feel like if you could do 3 a day, that would be great. You're not switching your zone this week for this. And if you want to, you can decide this month, my commitment is to really be mindful of every single joy sucker that I have in the house. Because the truth is, if you have a joy sucker in the house, you need to do something about it. We need to either get rid of it, fix it, or donate it. Like, we should not be living with stuff that make us feel bad, that is broken, that brings a level of energy into our lives that suck dry, lovely energies that is trying to get to us because of this energy of this. Like, because think about it. What are we saying to the universe? What are we saying to the energies that's out there? We're saying, oh, I really do need more money. I need my life to be more abundant. I work so hard. Oh, all right. Well, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, I can't go out over there because all that crap is in front of the door and that broken thing is there. Let me go around the other side. What are you saying? You're saying you want one thing, but you're living like another. See? And it's not our fault. We haven't even recognized it. Most of the time, it's just freaking white noise. And we're just oblivious to this kind of, I would say, spiritual area or spiritual attachment to this stuff. But it really isn't spiritual. It's just energetic. We've all felt it. We all know it. Have you ever walked into a room and in that moment, you know something ain't right here? That's a God-given gift. Or you walk into a room and you meet somebody and automatically it's like, because there's like this aura thing. And this isn't woo-woo. This is real. There are some like yogi people, right? You know, like guru kind of yogi guys that are so in tune, are so positive that they light up a room, that their presence changes the atmosphere in a room. Joe Dispenza,
who is a quantum physicist. He is an expert in meditation and all things that have to do with physiological things with meditation. It's incredible. This stuff is real. This is not, oh, well, if I think hard enough, then this will happen. No, this is real. People's bodies change because of the way they think.
So he's done events where people meditate that the first day it's one level because he reads it. He has like machines, I don't know what they call them, he has technology that measures the energy in the room. And it gives off something that it affects the entire hotel. So this is a big deal. This doesn't only just help us and our home, it helps those around us, it helps our community, and ultimately freaking our world. Like, this is a big deal. All we want to do is take care of our little corner of the world. If we could take care of a little corner of the world, boy, have we taken care of an awful lot. So there's that, okay? What subtle things? I want you to think about it. All right, and write it in the chat. When it comes to you, just stop what you're doing and put it in the chat. What subtle things can you do in that room that would elevate it, help you? And then make a decision. How often will you do it? 3 a day? 3 minimum a day? And then as often as you see things that are joy suckers? And what could you think of in there? And every day you'll get a different idea. Every day you will. And when it comes to decluttering, I really want you to let go of the scarce mentality. Let go of the fear of not having enough. Let go of keeping garbage because either you just feel like you have to, you need to, you can't put it in a landfill, whatever it is, let it go. Because your energy collecting that at home is way worse than anything it's going to do in a landfill. Right? All right, choose something that can be done in 1 to 3 days. Start heart tracking. Start heart track them. Take some before and after. This is a big deal. Take some before and after pictures of what you chose to do. I really suggest that you just walk around your house and take before pictures. I really understand the feeling of shame that we don't want anybody to see. We don't want anybody to know. You don't have to show it to anybody. It will help you. It will help you to feel like you've done things when you feel like you haven't. So you can take a look and say, oh my God, what is wrong with me? Why am I saying I haven't done anything? Look at these pictures. It will also help you to feel the feeling of accomplishment that you need. And I want you to make this fun.
Okay, so 30 minutes is up. We'll go on for about another 10 minutes. So maybe take a short break, get a glass of water, take a stretch, and then keep going. At the end of this video, you would have worked about 40 minutes. Okay, now back to the workshop.
I'm going to stop the share, and I'm going to look at the chat. And if anybody has any questions, ask me. If there's something that's heavy on your mind, ask me about it. If you need to hash through something, ask me. If you're thinking, well, I should do this room, but then there's that room, let's talk about it. Okay? Okay, Susan said kitchen. I know one of the reasons I don't cook with any sense of joy or competency is because my counters are cluttered. The stovetop and refrigerator need to be clean. I just don't want to be in that room. Yes, totally get it. So what does kitchen speak to you other than cooking? Because that's a little bit of a different thing. That's like, what do I love to do that I'm not doing? See how that's a little different than what makes me feel worthy or what makes me feel elevated, like I matter. It's a little bit different. So of course, kitchen can be it. What I'm trying to do is not show you should be doing this or something, not that. I'm trying to get you to feel an emotion because we move on emotion. That's why, it's because I'm thirsty. Give me a second. We move on. That's why it's like Christmas morning and the day before, you drag your ass out of bed or you have a class trip to a theme park the next day or you're going on a vacation and you jump up and ready to go because it's exciting. It's because it's emotion. It's fueled by emotion. So I want to know, what is it about, the kitchen and cooking that will make you feel like you're royalty? Damn it. So yeah, and you know what? This can be done. If sometimes we just don't put all of ourselves into something
simply because we really don't believe it. Like, like a feeling of futility comes over us and we say, well, why bother? It's not going to make a difference anyway. So it may be how you feel. We cannot move on feelings. We can't. If we move on feelings, we'll be stuck there. Every single person that ever started anything new didn't want to do it. Every single person couldn't move on feelings or they would have never succeeded. People that want to lose weight, your body is screaming for that food. You want to stop smoking. Many of you may have had this experience where you quit smoking. Your body is screaming for that cigarette. It doesn't start out in a way that's easy. We have to make a decision. And then you have to trust me that if you just put in the time and you keep the habits. Oh, I'm so sorry. Give me a second. If you put in the time and you keep up the habits, because we don't want to sabotage our efforts. So it goes where it goes. Do it now. Don't pass it up, pick it up. Status quo principle. Go to bed with dishes done. These things. You have to incrementally practice your habits. You're not perfect at them. Remember, practice means you're not perfect. So you're just practicing these habits. You incrementally work on those as you follow the system. You have a daily routine. Listen to me. Remember I told you that where I am now, it was so bad, and I feel bad. I did take pictures, not as many as I should have, and honest, to be totally transparent, which of course I always am, but sometimes I would rather just not say anything than be transparent, and now I'm saying something that I would just kind of rather not say, but I'm saying it anyway. I didn't want to take those pictures because I felt ashamed or embarrassed that I, the tidy tutor, was in this position. That I, do what I do and teach what I teach and live how I've lived and change how I've changed. And, in my own head, it was okay because I understood what was going on in the process. But you know how we always are so afraid what other people think? And I should reword that. We're not always afraid of what other people think. You know how we can often get afraid of what other people think? That's where I kind of was a little bit stuck in. Like I was like, I can't take a picture of this. I can't show this. It would humiliate me. Or people wouldn't understand. It just, I don't even know if I thought about it that in depth. It was just a feeling of I can't, I just can't, people can't see this. I didn't make the mess, so I really didn't need to attach myself to it, but I was here, and, in other areas, and here's what I'm getting at, in other areas of this house, it's still trashed, like trashed. But we have to do what we need to do in the steps and in the time that it's scheduled to be done. You can do this too. It took me 30 days to complete this section of the house. And all I did was work the program. That's all I did. I used this section of the house as my room of choice. And now, granted, it's a kitchen, living room, and porch, but I named it like the whole area, and I just worked in a section at a time. And then whatever zone I was in, I just worked in that zone. I didn't beat myself up. I didn't make myself depleted. So if I worked a week in, say, a zone, the hallway, stairs, entranceway zone, and I'm doing this too, and I worked regularly in there, but I didn't finish it that week, I moved on to the next one. And this is what I'm focusing on, and this is what I did, and I just kept going. You can do that too. It does not take. You can finish. I promise you this. You can finish your kitchen zone in 1 week. You can. You have to make a decision to show up every day, to put at least 1 hour a day in. I would say 2 hours on Saturday and 2 hours on Sunday, and be ruthless with getting rid of stuff. And if you can't get rid of stuff, box it up, put it somewhere. All food that is crap, get rid of it. All food that is, what's the word? Expired. Just done. Don't think about it. Don't be like, oh yeah, but it still should be good. Just do it. There's no time. Time is clicking for our life. We just want to get it done. We want to just live our lives. a lot of times something that happens under the radar that we don't realize it is that we have a fear of getting it together. Who will I be then if I'm not a mess? What will I, and this isn't conscious either. What will I do if I'm not a mess? And believe me, when it comes to the time when everything is all right, as it gets to the point where things are starting to be totally okay, you're going to feel a little worried that maybe you're not going to have purpose anymore because your purpose has been this for how many years? It's going to happen. So what? So what? Trust me. You'll do great. You'll do fine. You'll do better than fine. You'll do marvelous. Everything will change. So I want to see you do that. Susan, I want to see you do that. And if everybody has their own place that they're in, everybody's got their own state. If you want to, just commit to the area of the kitchen counter, top of counter, stove, and the refrigerator. These are the 3 things you mentioned. You can do that. You can just do that this week. You're not going into cabinets. You're not going into pantry. You're not going into the oven. You can do that this week. Think the way we were saying it before. You're sowing seed. You're making yourself a project. You can do it. And you can do it your own way. And you can do it the way works for you. You just have to stay committed. You have to do, like the floor, I had a plan section every night. The painting, I had a plan, a section, like the chairs aren't done. I wanted to have them done by Easter, 1 a day. It didn't happen. Nobody's going to die. I'll finish them. I needed a break, so I'm taking a break, and then we're going back because there's other spaces. So let's see what we got on the clock here. All right, so the time is up. I'm going to ask you how you're doing. I want to know what you've chosen. Let me plug in before I go down with the battery. What you've chosen to do for yourself. Did you pick 3 things in a room? Did you look around and say, oh, I need to paint that wall? Or, oh, I need to change, time's up, okay. I need to change all the light switch plates. Like, it doesn't have to be drastic. I need to get rid of that bedding. I need to buy new pillows. I need to throw out those sheets. Like, what are you thinking? You want to share? Anyone? No? No one? All right. Well, if it comes to you, I need to throw away expired food. Beautiful. Get some help too. If you don't live alone, and you know, expired food could be something that you could do almost like paperwork, because it takes a while, because you have to search on that label for the stamp, the date stamp, and sometimes it just takes a long time. I did this a few years ago in a pantry, and oh my goodness, it was painful. And after I was done, I said, gee, I should have just waited with that and did it in clumps while I was watching TV. So you might want to do that with the expired food, because you can be standing there for an hour just trying to search for the dates on them. And so if you take a section or a shelf, put it in a box, watch TV with it, with your significant other sitting next to you, and say, here, let's just look at the stamps on these things. Keep, get rid of. That would be great. Deborah shook her head. I love that. Thank you. All right, so I'll sign out now. If anybody is actually typing, then let me know. Don't sign out. I'm typing. But if you want to say something, then unmute yourself. Otherwise, we'll just sign out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Susan, you say bye? All right. Mwah. All right. Take care, you guys. Bye.
Thanks for being with me, and please like, subscribe, and share.
You got bugs called bug eye. You cook bacon, apple pie. If you show your fix your tail, clean or clean my underwear.
These are the things we do. The house is a mess with all the junk. Your sink's clogged up with dinner time gunk. You pick up the phone and call Roto-Rooter
To make it all work,
and call the tidy tutor.
I think that was pretty good, don't you?